Hello, my friends. Trying a new tactic here. It's my third video. How's everyone doing? How are my sisters and brothers out there? Good. I hope you're good. Well, I'm gonna do a video on food addiction here. Who knows how long it'll go? I don't know how long. If even if people are gonna watch these, but hey, I'm making my effort, and it's probably good for me too. But yeah, no, things have been good. I was fighting a sandstorm. I was trying to get it earlier, but it was kind of challenging. It was fun. But I found a place that seems decent here where it's not too windy and a little out of the way. So, yeah. What else was I going to say? Yeah, no, just we'll see how this one goes. Yeah, so overeating and food addiction, emotional eating, I guess, in my case. And yeah, so it's been a wild journey, and I just have to explain some of these truths I've been learning. I think you can see all of me, but hey, yeah. So so the past year, so this is just a different approach for me. So like I said, this is my third video, and yeah, so getting used to it. But yeah, food addiction, I had it. I have it. I mean, the kind I have is the overeating type, the eating for any reason in the world, like if it's hot, cold, if I'm happy, sad, any old thing, I'll just like, and it's a clever thing because in the mind and all this is so clever about not letting it come up. But anyways, the deeper I go, especially with the fasting and just cleaning just my whole system at the deepest levels possible, and I've, like I said, I've done it all. Like I did the Hulda Clark, 3-month protocol, I don't know, 4 years ago. I've done all sorts of stuff, a lot of, and the supplements too. I mean, man, I'm not even going to go into that here now, but the money I wasted on supplements is unreal. They claim you got to get the good probiotics. So good probiotics every month is expensive. So anywho, it's just been a crazy battle, and just you're not getting deep enough unless you have emotional stuff and mental stuff, and things like that coming up. Because honestly, all of these all of these emotions and experiences, and maybe stuff that was unprocessed for some reason, or whatever, it's in your cells, it's in your body, and during deep cleansing and going on the mucusless diet and going high fruit and raw and all that, and it's you really notice. And let me say this, I don't judge anyone for how they eat. This is about healing. This is like a healing diet. The fruit diet is the healing diet with the herbs, okay? And but it's just I don't care if you eat meat or whatever. I don't care. But me, I was eating too much of the wrong things. Not only was I eating the foods that humans aren't designed to eat, we're frugivores. Like, there's just go down the list on that one. But I was not only that, but like I just eating way too much. I mean, I used to be a junkie and all that, like 15 years ago and all that, and so it's just funny because like the spiritual path, like it's I don't know, it's called the road less traveled for a reason. Because I just feel like like I learned a lot of this stuff before with how I got out of the drug lifestyle and all that, and it's like, man, I'm having to relearn some stuff. I don't like to have to relearn stuff, but I know it's a way different thing, and food is like, we need to eat, so that's what makes it so hard. And like this is the only, like, I haven't been like, never had bulimia or anything like that, but I guess this is technically an eating disorder, because I would just eat so much, and so much of and then even so much of the fruit too, even the good stuff. Like I love it, fruit so much, and vegetables so much that for me it was super emotional, because like I put myself in a box, kind of like I've been in the woods for a while, and just it was good to do, but yeah, I mean, it's just the way that like my work was just nuts, just insane, and then just driving like 10 hours a day or 12 hours a day to the next thing, and working again, insane hours. So that's nuts right there. But like, and that's just like unbalancing, just like as it is. I think Kesey said that Ken Kesey said something like, man, it's hard to be balanced with a home life, and it's hard to be balanced as a traveler, and I'm both, and and I'm doing it all alone, single, so it's like food has been a way to deal with stress for me, as it is for most people, and that's not always a bad thing. Like I'm saying, it's not a bad thing, but for me it really was, because I need to go as far as I can on raw food and fruit, and continue to clear all obstructions out of my body. And actually, I want to live. Like, that's what it comes down to. You got to take responsibility, for at least the overeating thing. If you're trying, if it's causing problems, it's okay to, have that emotion, that comfort food. There's nothing wrong with that, But in my case, there was. So I would eat because of my just like, and then being isolated. Like, it was great being in, in hermit mode, and just like Zen mode, no one around, like no neighbors, just like I didn't get to see friends enough, and it was not intentional, but it was just like, where I got my property wasn't the best place, but not the worst. But it wasn't a bad thing, but like, but yeah. So it's basically like I would eat, when I was alone, I just, because that was like something, whatever, that I always did, and like, even though it wasn't. I didn't think it was bad at the time until I really learned all that I could about the truth. Finally, luckily, thank you, Dr. Morse, and thank you, all these guys throughout the years. It makes sense now. It's just ringing true, and it's like, thank you. It's like, I was eating like, like the first year, I've been like all fruit, like, I don't know, 75 to 100% fruit for a year. A lot of times 100% stretches, and sometimes having these, like, it would be like every, like, I don't know, it would be like I could go a week usually with just the fruit, and I could go like, in raw, or what if I was doing veggies at the time, and I could do that, and it just, and then there was times when I would just go and have these binges, these food benders I would go on where it was like, even with the fruit, like I would eat too much too. But as I said, but like these food benders that I would go on, like, yeah, I could go a week. You know, I guess 5 days was kind of an average, but you know, I did 23 days back in the day, back like whatever, almost a year ago, without all fruit raw. And then I did, you know, my 12-day water fast, so that was, you know, and I ate really good after that for like 5 days. And then went into some of the worst, like right after the water fast, after I cleaned everything, and like I was having points release when I was having movements, BMs. I was having like acupuncture points release on my feet, on this foot, and just all this stuff. I mean, my blood pressure was like finally raised to like perfect 120. Like the bottom was still a little low, but anyways, that I went these stints of basically going long, but yeah, I mean, there was so much of the time though, honestly, because I worked like insane 3 months straight, like I don't know, 16-hour days, and just like counting the driving, it was like 18 hours. I don't know, it was for no stopping, and this scared the shit out of me. I didn't want to do that. But you know, I mean, I didn't really have to, but I was like, man, I had so much invested in my business, and it was just, you know, and I went real hard on the fruit, but I still was having those times I would go out and get the, you know, the pistachios, eat the whole bag, and like that. Sometimes when I would slip up, it'd be like once I would, it would be, sometimes I'd do it like 3 nights in a row, and it's always at the nighttime. That's the funny thing, because the nighttime is like the emotional time, and or whatnot, you know what I'm saying? So like, and I'm always alone, and like, you know, I guess it was just like who I could talk to about anything, food, like good food, bad food, all of it, and and it was just insane. Like, you know, I guess, like, I don't know if this really helps. I mean, if this is important, but like how I just like you know, the transition from like, I was eating like so much almond butter for years and years and years, like way too much protein. If you don't think protein is, even nuts is like high protein diets, if you think they're good, don't. I mean, try doing this stuff for a while, go raw for a while, and then try some like protein, and it will shoot your kidneys down. I don't know the state of my kidneys or anything like that, because like, you know, I did do some medical, like the only thing I did like recently was go and get like a blood test, and I was like, I'll get into it in another video of why I just completely am not going to go to doctors anymore. But it's just, I lost faith a while ago with the all the gastro doctors, all the other ones, and years ago when I went, and it's just like, I can't, I'm a consciousness, I can't deal with like that level of unconsciousness, and I'm not putting all MDs down. I'm not. There's great physicians. There's great, you know, allopathic ones and naturopathic, and but naturopathy is the best. But anyways, like, you know, but it's just like anyways, about the kidneys. Went on a rant, but like a lot of the stuff, that the issues I've had with like my physical body has been you know, who knows what it is. Like, definitely, you know, I'll just go into that later, and you know, in another video. I think I kind of have that planned or something. But anyways, like, I would just it was like, I was like powers. It was like, man, I'm back. It was like I was doing drugs again, but it was food. So but yeah, no, part of it was because I was so isolated, and that's just, you know, who I had to turn to. And like, yeah, I got friends all over the country, really good people. I didn't for a while have people who would understand this, like I said in other videos. So I wouldn't talk about it with many people, right? But you know, I could call friends across the country, but get support. That's, you know, it's good to have like so that's what I'm doing now, like getting realigning with balance. That's how I thrive best, and just stability and like routines kinda, and just trying to get the community thing going and try to move to the tropics, and that's where I'm at. It's totally where I'm at. So I'll probably still, if I can, I'll probably still stay in with my little place in Maine, but if I just go there like in the fall when it's nice, but and I'm going to use it for like water fasting, like it's pretty good for that. So anyways, it's been a journey, and like you got to take responsibility. Like I wasn't. That's the if it's affecting you, if it's not, like I said, if it's not affecting you, it's cool. Like whatever. But this is my channel is going to be geared towards healing, and and just like general healthy lifestyle. This you can apply these things. For healing that I talk about, and that I've, you guys, most of you guys probably know about this stuff. So I'm, because, but if you don't, it's it's a lifestyle too. If you want to make it that way, and that's where I'm at. I'm like, no, this isn't just healing for me. Like, like who knows if I'll go back and eat baked potatoes and whatever and stuff like that. I don't know. Really don't know, but I'm at the point now where like that's why this juice fast has just been crucial. All of it has been, but the longer you go, you get to deal more with like now I can think about, like, it's going to get to the point where if I break a fast, well, it already is. If I break a fast the wrong way, like I could totally die. Like if I ate something like the worst thing in the world to eat, like after breaking a fast, like pizza or something, it would like probably kill me. Like so it's like it's kind of a cushion. It's a kind of a and so people who would say like, oh, like you're just on this crazy outlandish diet. No, it's the diet of humans. You're on this rigid, and that's why you were messing up. I'm like, no, that's not why. I got discipline stored up here that I've had discipline in my life before, so it's just, what was I saying? That was just, a lot of this stuff just screams to me, and I was saying about the juice fast and how it's just so crucial to have the longer period of time, because if I do, I'm going to do about 100 days, I'm guessing total, or and then breaking it's going to be like 10 days to break it, so it gives me even more cushion towards planning. I already have a great plan for after. Build for a little bit, do a 7-day water fast, and then just after I build for 3 weeks, just because water fasting is where I gotta go again. It's just I gotta go deeper and do more of it. And the dry fasting is wonderful too. It is. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, no, it's just a wild freaking journey, and so it gives you more space to not only plan your continued, because like I said before in one of the videos, I have to, I wish I could just go and eat these things, like, I would, but I can't, and for my body can't, and then my addictive side couldn't. So but it's the more and more I go on this, like I said, it also gives me more time to understand. It's funny because, like, man, now if I think about food, it's like there's no way that I could go and eat it. I'm just not even on that level on it on so many ways. Like I'm getting my food, I'm getting the calories, it's just juice, it's just grapes and some lemons, and but it's just like it's getting me stronger mentally so that I can, because like I'm meandering, but I have to go 100% raw for a while, and it has to be, these mess ups that I've had, this is what I've really learned, is that like for a lot of things, not for everything, but if you really want true healing, and I desperately need, I have so many symptoms and issues that it's a grocery list, so I can't even write them all down. I mean, but a lot of them have faded away completely already, but like, yeah, you get my point. It's just like, I have to go long, and the juice fast is keeping me raw. And I had a couple times where I had like organic Concord jar of it, the pasteurized, but that was just because I was at class and like, I was just cleaning the juicer. I'm juicing a lot, man. Some days I'm not, and the positive to that, even though it's dead food, it's what was I gonna say? Yeah, it is their Concords are seeded usually, unless they're Tomcords or something, and I don't know. I'm not an expert at this yet, so, but I'm learning a lot. So yeah, no, the Concords are seeded, even though it's dead. It's interesting what Gino with the Master Fast guy says about. It's a really interesting idea. I'll just go off on this quick thing and then try to get back, because I don't know how long this is at right now. Oh wow, holy crap. Yeah, so Gino, he says something about like it's 108 days, and I like what he says about the music, the 432 hertz. That's why he has 108 days, which I think is amazing and cool, really cool. But his reasoning with the plasma, and like, I'm not saying it's wrong or not the right thing, because that's just how I am. I take anything with a grain of salt, but like, hey, I'd rather have the living energy in my body right now. So yeah, like I said, I had some of those, maybe 3 during 47 days. So sorry to go into that that point, but I guess I'm stressing how important the juice fast has been for me to really get even more centered and get just so aligned with Source, and just, it's been wonderful. It's just been great. So yeah, like, it was bad. Like, I don't know, like I was saying earlier, I was trying to say, and I probably went into a couple different, but hey, if you don't like it, that's fine. If you do, that's cool. Either way. But yeah, like when I first started, I was eating like like when I would have these benders, like I was eating so much almond butter, like a pound, a whole jar at once. I mean, it's disgusting, really, when I think about it, but it was just what I was. Sometimes I didn't always eat that much, but the layer bars were something I had problems with for like, I don't know, 3 years. I would eat way too much. What was I thinking? That was a huge part of why I got disease stuff, because man, I was not eating that much fruit. I was eating veggies, and I was even eating some raw, like okay amounts of raw, but not fresh fruit. Like I was eating those nut bars with dates in them, and fruit, like I would eat like, I don't know, 2 to like, sometimes I ate a ton of those, and it's like, man, no wonder I was always in the bathroom and nothing was digested. Combining the fruit and the nuts, what are they thinking, man? In my opinion. But if you don't have issues with food combining, you wouldn't understand. But if you do, you would understand. So I eat mono fruit meals when I eat fruit. So anywho, guys, hope some people are still with me here in this beautiful day here, Florida. So yeah, blast is up. Just happy. I always say that I'm gonna go to somewhere warm for the winter, and for the, even the fall in Maine and spring. It's just, I'm not doing any of it this time. Nah, I mean, I'll go back for some of the spring. So sometimes I get away and stuff, but this time, nah, I don't have to. It's cool. Like, I realized, like, shit, I worked like crazy this year. I have to do anything for a while, so I'm feeling good. You know, I'm blessed, so blessed to be able to finally just focus and zone in on this. That was part of the problem, and not having the right setting or support system and all that. But let me dive into some of these other things that maybe you guys will think it's funny. The coconut bliss, like, you know, like hitting that, like, the thing that's funny is, like, about this is, like, you get to this point. I was at this point where I was like, you know, I was like kind of helpless, and I was like, why am I going back to things that like, I've been gluten, dairy free, and the deeper you go in detox, it's crazy. I've been, you know, gluten, dairy free for 8 years, and, like, you know, like I said before, like, eating the responsible grass-fed whatever meat and all that stuff. And but during this, like, I had a vegan pizza thing for the first time, and, like, you know, having a pizza. I hadn't had a pizza for like 10 years, and then I had this vegan. It's like soy free too. It has, like, you know, at the time I was like, oh, well, it's soy free too, soy free, dairy free, meat free, like and those were amazing. And so I had those, and then, like, later on I had, like, freaking, like, a Pizza Hut. I used to work at Pizza Hut, and, like, and I had, like, a Domino's pizza, like, stuff that I would never do. Like, same thing with, like, because it was just like, there was a point where I was just, like, feeling so fatigued and all that from going back, because I noticed, that's the thing, guys, when I go back to the cooked stuff and the acid forming foods, the foods that create mucus in your body, I feel like shit, like, even worse than, like, you know, the fatigue that I still slowly have been struggling with, but I'm not struggling with, just dealing with. But yeah, anyways, it's like yeah, like, I went and, like, you know, I hadn't had Chipotle for years, right? I don't know how, it wasn't that long, but I would try to just eat the salmon, the farm salmon, and I mean the not farmed, and then from the farm meat, you know. But even, like, you know, and I can't say, I never thought I'd say this, but I like being vegan, like, and I'm not gonna label myself. I'm not gonna be like, you know, there's a lot of angry vegans out there, and there's a lot of, like, you know, that's not, I understand, like, the conditions are horrible, and it's just atrocious in every way. They're saddening, really. Yeah, I never thought I would, just not having that energy in I never liked eating meat. I always felt something about it, personally. This is just me. I don't care what you do. I'm not going to judge you. I'd like you to live a vibrant life and optimal, and, you know, all that, but it doesn't matter. These apply to all these foods. You know, you can, you know, even these people who fast and all these teachers, like, it depends. Like, you're not always going to live. People are like, longevity. You're not always going to live longer, in my opinion. Like, you will, but, like, you're not going to. It's more about living optimally. Okay, it's more about living an optimal, like, pain-free and inflammation-free, like that. You know, not being sick your whole life. You know, you might still be, you know, you might just live a couple years longer, or you might live 30 years longer, or 70 years longer, who knows. But so it's not just the, you know, but I feel really good not having, like, there's been, yeah, a few times it's like, went back to Chipotle. I hate to admit it, but and that was the meat that I had, you know, and then all that, right, I would just have a rice and chicken burrito, and that was, like, you know, a year ago type of thing, and that happened a couple times, you know, I don't know, 5 times. It happened a little too much, but it, and then I had some, like, old Epic, those salmon bars that I had, and like, I found them in my car, and I was like, well, you know, it's responsible and all that. So I had that, but for the most part, I've been for a year like raw vegan, and baby, it's good, man. I don't know. It's been good. Feel good about that. So the other stuff, quickly, I'll try to go quicker here. I don't know. Yeah, so just like the freaking the sprouted pumpkin seeds, man. I would eat like a whole bag of those, man. Sometimes a whole bag. I think that's worse than eating. It was like sometimes I'd eat 12 ounces of those or something, dude. And dude, that's I would eat. And same with like, I think it's worse than pistachios, because that was my other thing for binging and all that. And like I said, I would binge if the mangoes were really good, or the water or whatever was really good. I would binge on that. I didn't give a shit. I didn't care, guys. So so that's kind of that. And I got a couple more points, but yeah, like the road less traveled is it's less traveled for a reason. It's hard, man. It's hard to do these things to empower yourself and clear away habits, new and old ones that as I'm relearning now. Habits, patterns, mindsets. Life, it's hard to correct lifestyle. Especially when you don't know why you're doing certain things in the first place, because you were so dumbed down by the cooked food. I mean, it affected me so deeply. Like I was saying yesterday, my mind state now is just like beyond anything I've never been this on top of it. I've never had this like I'm like it's totally myself on this raw food thing, man. Like it's just, I'm very grateful. So that's, yeah, don't be hard on yourself though, like, yeah, I would even eat to like sleep a lot of the time, because I was having trouble sleeping at times, like pretty bad. I never had that before. But once you get deep, man, stuff gets. I did all these other things, like I said, all these other cleanses and all these detox. They say a detox is anything. Psh, learn this stuff, man. Morse is no joke, man. He ran with Bernard Jensen, man. Come on. So, anyways, like, don't, yeah. So, like, sorry, I mean, I have there's trying to cover stuff, so sorry if I look at this, but I don't think it's much of a problem for now, once I get like super laser sharp, as I'm getting more and more, hopefully I won't need the notes, but and I like to just go flow with it, no notes too, but I haven't done that completely yet. I've always tried to plan stuff a little bit, but and I hope the lighting's been good. Like, I know this wasn't going to be probably the best lighting, but because of the wind situation earlier. But anywho, yeah, like I was saying, like, even overeating, like even overeating the fruits, like, and I know that's kind of rare in the raw world for fruit and veg. Overeating is like, most people, they're trying to gain weight, man. So, yeah. Let's see, where are we at here? Cool. Oh, yeah, this has been a fun one. Yeah, don't be hard on yourself. Like, I feel like a lot of the friends and family who I've talked to about this stuff, they're always like, oh, now that I have the support system that understands, you need to understand. And it's nothing on my other friends, or I got great other friends that aren't into this detox and that aren't healers and whatever. They're not going down these roads that are very difficult. But it's just that, like, they don't understand, man. It's not anything wrong with it's difficult to grasp. It's, you know, it's so outlandish. So to the common man. But if the common man gives it a shot and experiences it and really just lets it settle in their mindset, then they'll understand. You know, they'll understand. They'll. I don't see how you couldn't. I mean, I understood it like 8 years ago, but I didn't practice it hard. You know, I did not like this. So yeah, don't be like, you know. But people will be like, "Oh, you're hard on yourself," and I'm like, "No, you're not and they're not understanding me either." They sense. It's just like, no, I'm just explaining this crazy stuff that is not going to make sense to you, and it's just, I mean, but you know, my family's good though. They're so, I'm blessed. You know, my friends are great. I mean, if I really need to talk about stuff, they'll listen. So it's, you know, and they're very open-minded too. I mean, I got the most open-minded friends and people. You know, free thinking for the most part, and so yeah, no, it's not. Yeah, so I went over that, and yeah, got a lot of stuff to say, and I'm just gonna try to. Gosh, it's nice out, man. It was like 80 today. That's my favorite weather. 80 degrees, 85. That's what I like. 75. That's a lot of people like it. Even with no wind, 85, man. Give me 90 sometimes. Whatever. Give me 95. Even that's scary how things are turning out. But yeah, no, I had a lot. I've been doing a lot of emotional work this year. Just on a lot of different ways. Sound healing, every little. You know, because before I'd be like, you know, I've tried it all, and you know, I didn't try it all. I would just say that was just one of those regurgitated unconscious things that I would say because I just wasn't feeling good, and I was feeling like shit, man, for 16 years. I mean, and a lot of people are a lot worse than me, but I a lot insanely worse than me, but so I'm blessed. But like, what was I saying? Like, just the emotional work, doing a lot of all sorts of I did all. Now I can say I've done not all, but I'm getting the art of detoxification, hitting it all, dry brushing, all of it, everything, different things, massage, all of it. I'm all big on massage now. Please, man, it's so crucial. All of it is, but yeah, I don't know. Like I had I won't go into it too deeply, you know, right now. Yeah, I guess because I don't think it. Yeah, I don't know how deep I'll ever go into it, but here. But yeah, like a lot of trauma work, and like I actually had, just since I was so isolated, and things were so like. Things that even some of you psychonauts out there, if you know, you group of people would be surprised, interested in, maybe not super surprised, but about part of this journey that I haven't really shared. That's been mind, and you know, I've been clean for a long time, right? From all of it, you know. So it's a very intricate thing, but anyways, there's a lot of trauma that I've had, and I've been, you know, like I said, I was so isolated in the cabin in the winter in Maine, like doing all fruit, and like I was like, man, I thought I got frostbitten like on my feet, because I used to climb mountains in the winter like every day, like hike them, climb them, you know, type of thing, and I was, you know, and then that last winter when I was there, it's like, man, I can't even go and light the wood stove. I can't even shovel get the snow blower going or shovel snow. Like, thought I got frostbite because my hypothyroid was so out of whack. Like, everything was so out of whack. And then when you're all in, I had no fat on me then, you know, like I was going hard on the fruit and just, I mean, I had fat probably, but not, but you know what I'm saying. Fat is great, especially the good fats, you know, I'm not going to, like I said, judge anyone for what they eat, but the good, you know, avocados are the best. Nuts are good. If you can eat a handful, I've never had just a handful of any nuts, man. So, but yeah, so for detox, for true healing, this is just true healing, man. And in a higher level of being, really, just a higher level of just being. And it's not good. Fruit, I mean, fats aren't, you know, aren't really good for any fats. Even avocados, in my opinion, like they're good for balancing and building and living, but not during like that. You're trying to, you know, it's kind of a like you're building or you're like doing what I'm like. I don't care about what my weight is going to be or what it is or anything like that. Now, like I'm going deep. I'm not building. Okay, if I was building, it would be different. But if I'm you know, doing that, like cleansing and regenerating cells and tissues and all that, I don't want any fat. I know that for a fact. I know what it does to me. So anyways, yeah, I don't know, like 41 minutes. Yeah, I don't know. I guess maybe I could splice up this into different segments, maybe, or I don't know, or maybe some people will want to watch the whole thing. I don't know. I'll try to end soon though, just to, you know, give the ego a rest. This isn't an ego thing though. It's just this is more of like a service thing and a and now that I'm able to get like more clear with my thoughts and emotions and just all that, just super clear, I need to share my story. Everyone tells me I should, so and I've, you know, like I've said, I've heard I was a healer my whole life. You know, I used to be back in the day into shamanism, like when I was 16. Like, you know, I was always spiritually minded, and I'm not. You know, I never say that as an, you know, I'm more spiritual than you, or are you? It's the way I come from it is just like this is it. This is it. Sure, I've had the ego before, and man, I'll get into some stuff that can help with both the ego and emotional eating and addictions and stuff. I'll get into that later, but like, I've been into it, man. I've been into it, and this is like what I've been searching for my whole life. So, you know, I have to get back, and I'm incredibly blessed just to understand this knowledge and to be practicing this way of life, and to really, because that's the way you're gonna really understand it. You won't understand it until you do it. Like, you should read with it, you should learn about it first, but and as you're going, never stop, always keep learning, never stop, never, always grow. If you're not growing, you're stagnant. So, and that's what's so hard, like in life. You know, life is so crazy and complex, and we're in this insane world. And to keep it simple is hard, man. And it's a choice, I guess. It's to keep it simple, and it's just yeah. Don't be hard on yourself, and like, I don't know, if you're going through this stuff, like, it gets better. Just keep doing it. The stories I heard, man, that's all I gotta say, man. This stuff rebuilds anything. Any type of trauma, any type of physical, any type of mental stuff. It's just... It's the real deal, guys. So, super blessed, and I don't know, I was going to go off on something I thought was important, but I've always been into the, different, into the spiritual stuff, even back in the day. And then I was interested in the things that wake people, up and all that, not things that are bad. And then, man, once the bad, I got into the bad drugs, man, that was not meant. That was, I'm glad it happened, because I don't know, because I know the duality, man, and I like the light. So, anyways, like the trauma, man, like trauma, like it can be a bear. Okay, so, excuse me. I'm still getting less and less in this. Everything's starting to function and just it's amazing. I had like military school that I went to when I was 16, and it was the most traumatic experience of my life, no doubt. And a lot of like bad habits, negative habits, and just like holding in emotions and all sorts of stuff happened there, like, because I didn't feel safe and it was disgusting. Like they need but not my my folks who sent me there, but the people who run that thing. There's a lot of them too. It's in Utah, that stuff is criminal, man. It's the troubled teen industry is what they call it, right? And it's it's evil as all get out. Stuff I saw there. I'm not going to go into any of this here, but like I had some crazy trauma, and me being alone a lot for work, even though I see people, acquaintances and some friends when I'm on tour, it's not enough time to like really get into deep stuff with the people I can, so and then when I'm alone, in the cabin, cold, and trying to figure out like what's going on this, like living on fruit and trying to heal in the cold. We're tropical. We're tropical species. I've looked into it. I haven't looked into it that much, but it's just intuition too. It's like when you're down in the tropics, all you need to do is eat fruit. Just stay hydrated. But when you're up in these northern areas, you gotta sometimes, especially if you're outside and you're active and stuff like I was, you gotta eat fats and all sorts of, you gotta eat more stuff like oils and whatever, meat, whatever it is. And so that's that. But I don't know why. Oh man, I feel like it's been a pretty good video, but that was, there's been a couple scattered. It's not been intentionally scattered. I'm just trying to go off in all these directions, and I need to have a little more experience with this and foresight, and just yeah, you know what I'm saying, guys. But so like the trauma, man, like me being alone and having this super deep, like this trauma was coming back to me for some reason, like 15 months ago is when I first had severe disease, and then a year ago was Morse, when I found Morse and went hard with it, but like, yeah, like a couple years before that, this stuff was like coming to me, man, like out of nowhere, and it's just like stuff I never dealt with, like, not on purpose, but some of it wasn't on purpose, but a lot of it was. And let's just put it like this: that's when I noticed, and that I had like eating problem. You know, that's where I would, because the only thing I could do to like be at like and I discovered this like in a wild way. Like I went to an EMDR therapy, amazing angel, just amazing lady, just God, like godsend. I think she was an angel. And you know, I'm not afraid to say it, because it's pretty interesting how it just correlates with your eye movement and stuff. And I've been, you know, really unsettled like because of it emotionally, and then with the diet too. You put that together, unsettled emotional stuff, and traumas, and then the clogged up lymphatic system, kidneys that aren't filtering, and you got a mess. So anyways, she, like I discovered that through that, because it's really interesting therapy. I recommend it for people who have any type of trauma, really. That's like the only therapy I, you know, did or anything like that, but it was great. And yeah, probably went 10 times, and it was just, yeah, it was amazing. Like I just discovered that back then, and I did, you know, jail time too. I was so bad with all that stuff, right? But like, military school was the worst thing in the world. Like, it was just so bad, and it was just so. That's where I had learned. You know, they would have all this crazy food there, like what was that? Scones. They had these scones, like they were gross, but they had. I would, you know, food. I would get to go to like fast food once I started to do their program, their sick program, and I'm not going to get into it because it, you know, it's just disgusting. It's just like I don't need negative stuff, man. I don't want to rehash old stuff either. But it's just like, you know, it's like you get there and it's like basically you're a piece of shit. You're a horrible person. And you like sit and face the wall for like 8 hours. Like, go to solitary. I'm not gonna get into it, folks. It was nasty. The stuff I saw, felt, and had to deal with. But I'm not doing the poor me thing here, guys. I'm just explaining. Okay, don't do the poor me thing, and that's part of, like, you know, the accepting stuff and taking responsibility. Just don't do the poor me thing. Like, you know, I've done that at times, you know, for sure, on different degrees. But yeah, that's where I went, and like I would eat to escape, man, and it was like who I could talk to, because yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that, because I had no one to talk to. And yeah, very, very dark stuff there. So yeah, it's part of me. I can't imagine that that it needed to happen, but I'll imagine that it needed to happen. So how about that? Yeah, I don't know. Let's try to wrap her up. My advice, I guess, like, I don't know. Like, there's so many things. Like, one of the spiritual awakenings I had, a lot of it you can just, a certain book, these certain, like, how to live, self-help sort of book can really, like, I know that the Eckhart Tolle stuff, even though it was on Oprah, which I think is so cool that Oprah did that, and you know, all that stuff, bringing that light into the world. But like, even though they're great. I mean, it's, you know, and he has a different perspective, and he's just more. The way he says stuff is so simple, and it's just like everything you want to learn about, like, thought patterns and your ego and dealing with living in the light, man. And so that one was those two books he's got. Those were one of the major, like, definitely from a book wise. Those and other ones that were similar, like and Thich Nhat Hanh. Yeah, he's freaking great, man. So books, the right books, man. Not like, you know, fantasy novels or obviously, but or whatever. you know what I'm saying. So support, you know, the YouTube thing. Find out where you can go and go to a fruit festival, or go to, you know, or for whatever. If this helps you with something, if this helps anyone, I'm so happy. That's all, the only reason I'm trying to do this. But like, if this helps you, and you don't have the same thing I have, maybe some of this stuff could apply to you. I don't know your situation or any of that, obviously. So maybe it can help you, maybe it can't. But like, yeah, it's just like, the more you're aware of like what you need to do to live a balanced, free life, free in the mind, and however else you want to look at that, the more you, yeah, like, the more, it's like getting the ball rolling. Like, the more you are on this level of like, it's just duality, you know, there's either this or this. So the more you're focus. If you got the ability, if you want to make big changes with your life or habits, it's all about, and if you have, hopefully you're able to have enough more mental acuity than I had, like, you know, at the beginning of this like 15-month journey, and even before it wasn't good. It was never good. So if you can have that mental acuity to focus and find out these things that will help you, and there's so many ways to do it. You know, I leave a comment or whatever anytime. Feel free to leave a comment. Yeah, there's ways to, you know, if you have questions, there's other resources I could probably come up with pretty easily. So that have helped me. So yeah, the more you're focusing, if you have that lightning focus with something, you're gonna get it. You're gonna, you know, but it's you know, these things are hard to break, man. Especially with food. Food is so ingrained. You know, we have to eat. You know, like we cook food. You know, even like the raw gourmet. Like, I would have to say some of that raw gourmet is worse than, like, you know, some sweet potatoes and steamed veggies, because, you know, you're having like 50 different things and ingredients sometimes. You know, it's like, man, the body needs the simple to digest. That's why mono meals are crucial for really getting well, and especially if you have digestion, malabsorption, you know, utilization, elimination. If you have any of those problems, issues, challenges with your health, they're not problems. If you have any of those challenges with your health, then I recommend, yeah, the mono fruit meals. It's so simple and it's less stuff to digest. So yeah. Wow, now I do know that I did go on, like, I think 3 tangents that were not, like, you know, totally focused, but you get it, guys. Focus, please. I just have so much to say, and I've just been waiting, like, about to burst, and just not been able to have that. The mind wasn't there. It was just so clogged with mucus. Insanely clogged with mucus. So read the mucusless diet, man. Even though it's, yeah, that could probably help someone, any, you know, just a common person with any type of eating disorder. I would say, yeah, like Rational Fasting, Arnold Ehret, the Mucusless Diet Healing System, those books, and just anything on fasting is a good way. And a lot of people will say, oh, that's crazy. Well, if you're not going to go that route, and if you don't want to, that's fine. I respect it totally. It's just, hey, it's what works for me, and it works really, really well. So yeah, just focus. Don't lose the focus. And I don't know, what else am I going to end with here? Just, and don't live for others. Don't live for others. I mean, live for others. That's the worst. but don't live their lives. That's what I meant. So, like, don't you know, don't stay stagnant. If something's not working, use your intuition, and that's so much easier when your bowels aren't aren't screwed up all the time, or your whatever you've got going on. You got a tumor here, or whatever you got. It's so much easier. Like gosh, when I asked Dr. Morse the question finally, you know, like I've talked before, I have, but like in front of the whole class, that it was like, I was just like, you know, it's hard to, if you're not feeling well, it's hard to feel it's hard to be present. You know, like, and I was like, do you have any tips for that? And he was just like, let go. And I'm like, and you know, I've been doing that, but when he, just coming from him when he said that, and just the energy of that whole room, and that support, and that insane love that I felt, it was powerful. It was so powerful. So yeah, like don't I don't know, don't settle for things. Don't if you're not happy, change it. It's a choice, and sometimes it's the glands in your body, believe it or not, has something to do with that. Call me crazy, but hey, I've talked to people who this is actually true for, so who've had depression and all that. So if you're not happy, there's ways to do it. There's so many different, there's so many roads, guys, to ease my soul. So yeah, there's so many roads. I'm going to be like the Bill Walton of health. For people who know who that is, he's like a hardcore deadhead, and he's like a basketball announcer, coach guy. It's hilarious. So yeah, did that for work. Anyways, I just want you guys all to know that you can be happy, and you can find harmony, peace, and you can find joy. All you got to do is go in. Sometimes you got to go deep and get alone, like Morse and these people talk about, to really unlock some of the puzzle, right? So anywho, yeah, I'm gonna get a little sun gazing in. Call me crazy, but there's no UV rays, so it's fine. You know, I mean, it's not going to harm you. And my intuition personally would say, I would just say that, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm getting to the scattered point. Now I'm shivering a little bit, and like I have the hypo, whatever. I have low thyroid a little bit, and all that other stuff, and it's just, I get really just distracted by, I used to be a lot more by other people and just sounds and whatever. I'm a lot better with the sounds, unless I'm having the hardcore fatigue stuff, which is not hardcore anymore, but it's still not. This has not been a fun journey, guys, but it needed to be done. So yeah, you have the power. You're the key. As Morse would say, you're the key. And I just want to say peace to you all, and I hope this could have helped. I hope this helps some people. I hope this helps some people, and wish you the best. Namaste, my friends.